Everything in this video was added to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the 1.3.1 patch. However, I didn't cover it in my actual patch review because, well, these aren't changes made in the patch, these are just implications for things coming in future parts of the DLC. However, there is actually a decent amount of stuff that can be speculated on now, so why not cover it? The first thing that was changed is in the eShop menu for the DLC itself, where it listed the 5 different actual items in the Expansion Pass pack, which was Helpful Items pack, New Quests pack, New Rare Blade pack, New Challenge Mode pack, and Brand New Story Content pack. Now, up until the release dates of these packs were announced, there were just vague listings for them. It was like late... Well, the Helpful Items pack came out with the release of the games. That didn't count. There was something like early 2018, spring 2018, summer 2018, and fall 2018. But now, everything that's not out yet actually has a specific date on it. Now, for some reason, they didn't actually update it with the 5 new Blade quests that came out with 1.3.1, I guess, because everything that anyone would care about is in the future anyway, and you'd get that with... You could technically consider it the New Quests Pack Part 2, now that whenever you buy the Expansion Pass, you're just going to get both immediately. But the New Rare Blade Pack has a listing of May 31st. The Challenge Mode Pack has a listing of July 31st. And the Brand New Story Content Pack has a listing of Halloween 2018. Now, you might be thinking these are just placeholders. I would say that, except the New Quests pack was released on January 31st of 2018, so there is already a precedent for things being on the 31st. Now you might also think, okay, they're not going to do that though because this is Nintendo, and Nintendo only releases stuff on Fridays. Well, January 31st, 2018 was a Wednesday, and if we look back into the calendar, May 31st is a Thursday, but... Well, July 31st is a Tuesday, and October 31st is going back to a Wednesday, so they didn't release this stuff on Fridays all the time in the past. In addition, 1.3.1 was released on March 29th, which, while it wasn't the 31st of the month, was a Thursday and not a Friday, so all signs actually point to these being the final release dates of these DLCs. Now, I doubt that the Halloween release date means that the story will be some sort of holiday-themed thing, but it's good to know at least the time frame when they expect this stuff to come out. It could obviously be delayed and stuff, especially depending on whether or not Monolith reveals a new game at E3 or something, or it turns out they're working second-party-wise on something else, but we can at least say for sure that it'll be more than another month until the new Rare Blades are released. And that segues us surprisingly nicely, it's almost like I planned this out beforehand, into the other big thing. We have 3 silhouettes of the new Rare Blades that will be added with the next wave of DLC content. I've no way of telling whether or not this is all of the ones that will be added, but we now know that there will at least be 3 of them, and that these 3 will have these silhouettes. I'm kind of curious as to who these are, so I did a little bit of digging to at least try to get some sort of inkling as to whether or not these could be new characters or references to something in the past. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find anything super concrete saying, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a character from a previous Monolith Soft game, but I do at least have a couple of comments. The first thing is, the character on the top left appears to have either long ears or some sort of headpiece that sticks up. Now, the first thing that this made me think of, actually, was Telos from Xenosaga Episode 3, who sort of acts as a counterpart to Cosmos in terms of, like, being a similar-looking android and other story stuff that I'm not going to comment on because I haven't played the game and I know I'd get it all wrong and stuff, but it would sort of make sense for her to be another Rare Blade, since Cosmos was, and be presumably Dark Element, maybe another Ether Cannon, but we do already have a zombie, so I'm not 100% sure that she'd be that. But the headpiece does make me think that, just based on, that's the only piece of her design that I can obviously tell. Like, you can't really see the hands very well. You can see one arm. You can see the right arm. Maybe the left arm is grabbing something in the back or something. And you can't really tell at all what the weapon is. But this is a distinct possibility, since there is a precedent for her to not have her original design in the first place, because the version of Cosmos that's in Xenoblade 2 isn't directly lifted from any of the Xenosaga versions. She has basically 5 forms in Xenosaga, the Cosmos archetype, and then versions 1 through 4, but the version in Xenoblade 2 is, at least in Japanese, called Cosmos RE. I don't know off the top of my head what the RE stands for. It's probably like Return, Revitalize, maybe something standing for Cameo in Japanese or whatever, but it is canonically a different version from the one in Xenosaga, from any of the ones in Xenosaga, even though the design is based on her 1.0 or version 1. So they could easily just redesign Telos to either fit with Cosmos' redesign or fit better with the art style of Xenoblade 2, and that could very well be one of the 3 blades, and I wouldn't really be complaining about that. Now, the next thing it made me think of was, okay, that would make 2 Xenosaga cameos, so wouldn't it also make sense for the other 2 to be 2 Xenogears cameos? Unfortunately, the person on the top right, the only one I can definitely say for sure what the weapon type is, that's obviously a Chroma Katana, is not a Xenogears character of any sort, and unfortunately, the very mecha-looking character on the bottom doesn't look like it's any mech from either Xenogears or Xenosaga. I looked through pictures of every gear, every aims, eggs unit, all of the other stuff from Xenosaga that I don't know the names of off the top of my head, and none of them really look like that. My first thought was, oh, it's going to be Xenogears itself, but that doesn't really look to be the case. I was kind of let down by that, but I mean, if they put in a new character and make it work, then I'd completely be okay with that as well. It also doesn't resemble any of the mechs from Xenoblade 2 itself, doesn't resemble a face mechon, doesn't resemble any skells from any of the factions in X, so that mech character appears to be something completely new, which, cool, I'll take it. And the top right, I've seen a lot of people saying that that might be Shulk. Well, aside from the fact that he's obviously not wearing the Monado, and that the Chroma Katana he does have isn't the Claymore he uses before he carries the Monado around, and the way he fights with both his Junk Sword and the Monado is completely different from the fighting style the Chroma Katana uses in Xenoblade 2, I can very much say that that's probably not Shulk unless they gave him like some sort of Monado Katana or something like that. But, I don't know, it doesn't really look like him either. The only version of his outfit it really could be would be the jungle outfit, but you can also see that the character does have some sort of sleeves on as well, which the jungle outfit lacks. So I'm really not sure. I also just skimmed through character designs from Baten Kaitos, which is Monolith Soft's other Nintendo-published RPG series on the GameCube, and none of the character designs, or really even the proportions of them, match that, so I don't know, it's looking like only one of these characters could possibly be a reference to something in the past, so that's kind of cool. We're getting even more rare Blade characters. I mean, it's good that they didn't just cheap out and make the new DLC characters all references to past games, so that, oh, you're a fan of that one, guess you gotta pay an extra $30 for the DLC if you want the whole fan service stuff, but I don't know. I wish I really had more analysis to talk about with this stuff, but it is what it is, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait another month or so to figure it out. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna start slacking on making videos, because I've got 2 other Xenoblade games to cover. And still, of course, plenty of stuff from 2. So, until next time, this is Luxon, signing off.